Hi everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm still in shock after that game. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 5. This was at Old Trafford in the Premier League, and we always know every time these two teams play each other that it's going to be a very close competitive game, that, you know, it could go either way. And from United's perspective, we kind of gathered that Liverpool were going to be a very, very tough team. They've got some fantastic players. Mo Salah's in the form of his life at the moment, so we knew that it was going to be a tough, tough game. And United had just come off a miraculous comeback in the week against Atalanta, which, to be perfectly honest, we were very lucky to even have got, because we were 2-0 down at half-time, and it just took a bit more team spirit to come back into the game and win it. And to be honest, as inspiring as that second half comeback was in that game, it just papered over the cracks. And even Paul Scholes said, try doing that against Liverpool at the weekend and some things will happen in exactly the same way. And that's exactly what we got with this game. And I just think Ollie just got it totally, totally wrong. The team choice, I mean, it's the fact he went with the same team as he did against Atalanta, which clearly didn't work. And it clearly didn't work this time because Liverpool were basically 2-0 up within 15 minutes. You know, and both of those goals were so easy to get through the United defence. And I don't think it was even because Liverpool were very good. I think it was just United were that terrible that it just made Liverpool look good. But, you know, just the performance in that game from Manchester United, it was just unacceptable. I'm disappointed because on paper, United have got such a fantastic squad, especially with the transfers that have come in the summer. You know, I mean, Ronaldo for one, and Varane and Sancho. I mean, Ronaldo's had a lot of good moments already this season, but I think he is taking a toll on the team, and it's not looking good at the moment because I think when you've got a player like Ronaldo in the team, it's casting a lot more pressure on the players, because when you watch him, especially after the Champions League game in the week, you saw how frustrated he was and you could see it on the pitch, and I'm sure his teammates could feel that. And when you've got that kind of player in your team, it just creates more pressure on the players. But with Ronaldo's involvement in the team, we'll create a lot of pressure on the other players in the team because, you know, he's just a natural born winner, isn't he? But the bottom line is, you're playing for a club at Manchester United. Some of those players were bought for over £50 million and they're earning thousands of pounds a week in wages. You've got to learn to deal with that pressure. I mean, Harry Maguire for one, who was absolutely brilliant in the Euros, and he knocked off an early injury in the season. But since he came back, which I think after the Leicester game a few weeks ago, he came back too early, and I think Solskjaer was almost desperate for him to do that because he had Varane and Lindelof as options. But since Varane's injured now, it's almost like he's come back too early. He's still relatively injured, and it's cast an effect on him. Ultimately, it comes down to the team performance, and it just was not good enough. It really wasn't. The defensive unit's not very good. I mean, I still don't know why he plays Fred and McTominay together, especially when you've got Paul Pogba on the bench. It's baffling. It really is, and I just can't work out why he would do that. And David De Gea, as much as people have criticised him over the years, particularly towards the end of last season when United lost the Europa League final, I would probably say so far, other than Ronaldo, he's actually been United's best player of the season so far. I know we've only played 9 games, but when you've got a goalkeeper who's playing well and your defensive unit's clearly not playing well, then there's certainly a major, major issue. And I just think Solskjaer's got it wrong. I've always defended Solskjaer in the sense that he is a United legend, he's a nice guy, but I just think at the moment he's running out of excuses. I mean, I'm filming this a few hours after the game, but what will happen tomorrow or next week, I don't know. Given the players that he's got and the amount of money that he's spent, if he doesn't win a trophy this season, ain't happening. It's not happening. If he can't motivate the team at the start of the season, especially at a point in November when we're almost writing Manchester United off from the title race, only 2.5, 3 months into the Premier League season, it's not good at all. It's just not casting a positive impression on the team, on the fans. I mean, Gary Neville said they're almost becoming very easy to play against, where they get exploited, especially defensively, at the likes of Lindelof and Maguire. Even Shaw's not having a great couple of games either, and Wan-Bissaka, but we just need that drive to play better because we've got the players for that. And I think Solskjaer just lacks fire. I've said it for a long time about him. As much as I admire him as a player, and, you know, that he's a nice guy, and, you know, I'm sure he has certain ways of how he manages the team, but he lacks fire and determination to drive the team forward. You know, you see Klopp and Liverpool and Guardiola and Man City and Tuchel and Chelsea, who have a vision for the team and a plan. But Solskjaer just doesn't have that, and I just don't know what he's thinking. I don't know where he wants to go with the team. I think he just kind of perceives it as, we'll go into this game, we'll win the game, next game, next game, next game. But he's not thinking long term where he wants the team to go. That's the problem. I think, to be honest, after that performance against Liverpool, and granted Liverpool played well, and I mean Salah's on fine form, as I said, I think he's probably in running for the Ballon d'Or this year, and maybe even the Golden Boot again for this season as well. But just the fact that the game was 4-0 at half time after 4 goals that were quite frankly avoidable from a defensive perspective on United's part, I don't know how anybody can turn around and say, oh, maybe he got this wrong, maybe this was this, maybe Ronaldo pulling this and whatever. But the fact is, they weren't good enough as a team. It's a team thing, and that's what you've got to show in football. It was just embarrassing, and as I was tweeting while watching the game, that when it got to 5-0, it almost became unwatchable because that's how woeful Man United were tonight. The fans' reaction said it all. A lot of them left after 60 minutes, and it was at Old Trafford against Liverpool. And if that isn't a clear sign to say, this needs to change, the manager needs to change, and I don't like where this club is going, and we've just had enough. If that doesn't scream that, I don't know what else will. Even Alex Ferguson, who was there in the stadium as well, he reacted where he was just like, you could see it in his face, how embarrassed he was. The emotions for him must be overwhelming, really, because, that he must be feeling for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he must be thinking, this is an absolute shadow of the team that I used to manage. And this is something I will say in Solskjaer's defence. Manchester United have gone through quite a number of different transitional periods since Sir Alex Ferguson left, because he was at the club for so many years, and it was about regaining a whole new team and building on that legacy. Since Fergie left United in 2013, United have had a number of different managers: David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They have each tried to create their own legacy and rebuilding of the team, and while there have been some new players coming in, they just still haven't reached that potential yet. With the players that United have got in the team, you look at Bruno Fernandes, Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo, Greenwood, Rashford, Maguire, Pogba, they've got so many big players that they can just get the best out of, but I just don't think they've got the manager for it, and they need someone in the team to do that, because then they will challenge for the Premier League, like Liverpool, like Chelsea, like Man City, and that's what is just so frustrating. It's just continuous over and over and over again. United don't even have a plan B at the moment anyway, I don't think, but I would probably go as far as say that Solskjaer probably doesn't even know what his strongest 11 is, with the exception of the odd few, like De Gea and Maguire and Bruno and Ronaldo. But the rest of them, he doesn't know. I just don't understand when you spent so much money on so many different players that you still can't form a team together and go, they are my strongest 11 players. Because when you look at the current squad depth of United, you've got a number of different players who can play in versatile positions, and that is really resourceful, and that's what you need in a Premier League team these days. When you look at Chelsea and you look at Man City, I mean, the fact they haven't even got a centre forward really. I mean, they've got Gabriel Jesus, but they play a false 9, and United could be that, but the fact is United aren't even capitalising on the players they've got, and they're not getting the best out of them, and it's just disappointing that this is happening. But that performance tonight just exposed Solskjaer and exposed United in many ways, that there's still a long way to go, that United really need to deliver a lot better in the games, and a lot needs to change in the dressing room as well. Whether the Glazers need to go out or not, I would probably say that they do, to be honest. But the whole point is that, it's a whole team thing. If there's something wrong with the executive management, then something needs to change. If there's something wrong with the management, then something needs to change. If there's something wrong with the players, then something needs to change. And when all three are major issues, it's going to create a massive, massive problem. But ultimately, it was a disappointing result for Manchester United tonight. And it was, a very woeful performance, and one they'll look to forget and bounce back from, I'm sure. But some things need to change, and they need to change now. If they want to challenge for the Premier League, if they want to stay in the Champions League and challenge for the FA Cup as well, then something needs to change. Even as Paul Pogba said, something needs to change. So if the players are thinking that, what are the fans going to think? What did you think of the Man United-Liverpool game tonight? Are you a Man United fan who just feels woeful and disappointed by the performance, or are you a Liverpool fan who are in practically dreamland at the moment, having beat Man United at Old Trafford 5-0? Let me know in the comments below anyway, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more, and have a notification bell tick so you're notified when I upload a new video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody.